Morning, everyone. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. I am so sorry that I have not been doing many videos lately. Hopefully that will change. It just seems to be that I'm having a little bit of difficulty transitioning back from Alabama to Canada. And I think it's a whole lot easier when I go the other way, but there's just so much to do there that it takes your mind off things. Whereas here I am basically doing very little. I did spend some time visiting with my family, which is awesome. Always need to spend some time with your children when you can, especially when grandchildren. And it turns out that due to a second marriage, I'm also a great-grandmother. That's kind of spooky. But anyway, yeah, my son-in-law from his first marriage has a son who has two beautiful baby boys, and they were visiting with us on the same day, and it turns out that the young man is also hoping to move to Texas from Canada. So yeah, he's got a little baby boy that's a few years old and a fairly newborn that's a year old. I think the first one is about 3 or 4, perhaps 3. A gorgeous little guy. But they just feel that it would be in their best interests financially, and I think the opportunity is there. He's planning to start a little business. And they do have the skill set to do that. And if you do start a little business with some funding, you need the funding in order to do that. And he will be, I guess they might be trying to sell their house or rent it. I don't know what they'll do. But the transition to move to the Texas, so we're very excited about it, knowing that we have a home in Alabama. And apparently he just bought a plot of land, 3 acres, and they're going to build on it. So, tiny house maybe to start off with, who knows? There's only so much that you want to press people on information, but that's fine. They're young, they're strong, and he does have an education that if that business does not work out for him, he's got a legal degree. I don't think he passed the bar. And yeah, well, and my biscottis went over well. My son-in-law loves them, and his son thought they were awesome as well. I have yet to make soap for my son, but there's time. He told me he has 7 bars left, so he's okay for a little while, although you do have to let these things rest for at least a month. I think that there's still plenty of time for me to make him a big batch of soap. And I don't know if you can see this, but it appears as though the purple hull beans that I've planted on my balcony, this is where I'm sitting, they're growing nicely. I'm hoping that they will continue to grow and harvest for me, but if they don't, I have some seeds left over for next year, and I'll be planting them way earlier, possibly in June, and I'll only be gone a month, and hopefully when I get back I'll have beans. And I still have yet to plant the other side, but once again, this is just on the balcony right now. This time of year, this is just an experiment, and to see what I can grow. I have a lot of trees over there that do block some sunlight, so I only get some sunlight during certain times of the day, but hopefully it's enough for some things. And my tomato plants here are also thriving. You can see here no fruit, which is interesting, all leaves, but boy, does it ever smell like tomatoes. Every time I touch them, I can just smell the tomatoes. So anyway, once again, this is just an experiment for this year. Hopefully next year we'll see totally green here in this little spot, and it might be a really nice spot to do some filming rather than inside, just for the natural light. So what have I been up to? Well, not much of anything, actually. I should start to do some freeze drying. I checked my pantry for my freeze drying items, and I think that might not be a bad way for me to go, is to freeze dry as much as I can right now for storage, simply because I'm away. I can't freeze dry things like, well, maybe, who knows, I have to experiment what I can freeze dry, and it should last 25 years if you package it properly. But we'll have to work on that and see what I can come up with. Other than that, it's been quiet. As I say, I've had a bit of a difficult time adjusting to the transition, but we'll get past that. It's been a few weeks already. And of course, the good part is that you get to see family again. And I probably will visit with my youngest very soon as well. So well, they're all far out except for my son. He's close by. So anyway, I'm keeping an eye both on Canadian politics and US politics because, well, they affect me both. I mean, Mark's a lot more involved in that, always has been. Anyway, the weather here is great, and I do plan to go to my garden hopefully today, take some more cuttings, maybe dig up some roots, the horseradish root. Maybe I can make some natural horseradish, or I don't know if I can plant the root here and salvage it, a piece of it. I can't take any of this stuff to the US. There is no way they'll allow me to take roots unless I go through quite a process. Taking plants across the US is very bad. Seeds even you can't take without letting them know and then maybe going through a process. Strange part is I can bring a few seeds back to Canada. I had clarified that before I brought my purple hull beans, my purple hull bean seeds here. So I did bring some back, but I did check on that, whether it was legal or not. When you have an investment in the US, the last thing you need to do is something illegal which will prevent you from going back. And yes, if they decide that you cannot go back, it can be 10 years. You can be banned for 10 years. And yeah, most of the time people get away with everything, but you know what? The one time you think, oh, it's okay, I'm not doing anything really bad, yeah, they can certainly keep you out, and that's fair. It's even though I own property there, I'm still a guest in that country. I am not a citizen. So I do have certain rights and certain obligations as a guest, so we tend to follow the laws. So anyway, I just went inside for a few minutes to check on my breakfast that I'm putting together. I'm just cooking up a batch of steel cut oats. So they're doing fine. I took them off the stove, everything's good. Now the interesting thing is listening to US political commentary lately. I find it amusing that, let's see, socialists / communists are making inroads, but it seems as much as they're making inroads, they're dying just as quickly. Well, let's hope that's the case. Canada, in a very large measure, is quite socialist, even though they don't say that. They are very much along that. They still call themselves liberals and conservatives, and sometimes the conservatives win and sometimes the liberals win, but there's a very strong socialist tendency in this country, i.e. the free healthcare, the healthcare system, and that's what I find amusing about the contrast, I guess, between the US healthcare and Canadian healthcare, and I hear that is being touted or used as an example of what happens with universal healthcare, that you can wait months for an MRI. You can wait months for treatment, and people say it's free here. Well, as most people know, nothing is ever free. You pay for it one way or another. So in Canada, we pay for it with high taxes. Everyone pays extremely high taxes compared to the US. Our liquor is, I don't drink, so it doesn't affect me in that sense, but liquor is taxed really high. Our gasoline prices are very high. What else? Cigarette prices. Once again, I quit smoking a while back, so it doesn't affect me, but cigarette prices, I think when I quit, were $10 a pack, and they're close to 20 now for one pack of cigarettes. I could remember when they were like $3. Anyway, and of course, more people are going to the Indian reserves to buy horrible cigarettes. And Mark tells me there's actually a shop that has opened up that sells Indian cigarettes locally. You don't even have to go up to the reservation to get them. So, and it's completely legal for them, whereas anybody else would be in serious trouble if they tried that. But that's, as I said, nothing is free. Nothing is free. If you don't pay for it here, you pay for it there, and they will allocate those funds to pay for that. So you have less control of your own money. That's what it comes down to, is that you have less control of your own money. And I don't know that there's better health care. I'm not sure that there is. Personally, I have no reason to complain, but I've got an amazing, fantastic doctor that I've had for 50 years. I keep telling him, better not retire now, because this is when I'm going to need you. But yeah, he's, if it wasn't for him, 2 people that I know would have suffered tremendously. And my children, even though they had moved to other doctors at some point in their lives, they asked me to ask him if he would take them back, and he did. So take them back as patients, because a lot of doctors aren't doing that. And the way they practice medicine here, because it is a different system. My daughter had told me that you go in for one thought, one problem you might have, and he would resolve that issue only. And if you wanted to talk about something else, you had to make a separate appointment, which I find. And I mentioned that to my doctor, and he said yes, he heard about that, and it's unconscionable in his mind. So when I go to see him, we discuss everything that, this is bothering me, or that's bothering me, or I have this little tiny issue, and he checks on everything. And if I need specialists, he sends me to specialists. So it's not a matter of, just this one little item, because I have to bill for each visit and make my money back this way. So there, government-funded healthcare is not necessarily a good thing either. Anyway, just a little bit of, I've never had to deal with the American system, so I have no idea if it's good or bad. I've heard that it both ways, and I've heard both ways with the Canadian system, so there you go. I know people that have died under the Canadian system. I know people that have gone to the US under the Canadian system because they couldn't get the treatment here. So, can't say it's an issue one way or another. I'm just saying that this is a system I know and I understand, and I cannot really compare because I don't have an equal comparison. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully everyone is doing well. We have beautiful summer weather here. My poor friends in Alabama would just love this weather. It's like springtime in Alabama here. It's just not hot. It's about, today I think the high is going to be around 74 degrees and the humidity level is quite low. So, and I know in Alabama it's at least another 20 degrees hotter today. So anyway, Stay cool. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.